Well, this is the Fanatics View Hockey Show. Thank you so much for tuning in. Sorry I'm late, guys. It's been a weird week. It's spring break here. Yeah, my kid's going to this camp, and it took a little bit longer to get there than I expected. But nonetheless, I am here, and I'm ready to answer your questions. We got a lot to get into on today's show. A bunch of games last night. We got a few games tonight. We'll talk about our hockey bets as we usually do. If you guys have any questions, post them in the chat. No guests today, so we got lots of time for questions. We got a lot that we can get into, and this is going to be a really, really fun show. Just going to quickly promote this on social media because, again, I wanted to hop on here in due time. So yeah, what's on your mind? Of course, the poll question today, and something that I wanted to get into, was John Tortorella right for benching Sean Couturier last night? Of course, the Flyers getting the win last night over the Toronto Maple Leafs, really big win for them as they're, basically in the playoffs right now. The Flyers are, and the Leafs, one of the top teams. Good win there for the Flyers. They almost blew it, but they did end up getting it done with a late one. We'll talk about that and everything else. And yeah, that's pretty much what I got for now. So let me know what you guys think as far as John Tortorella. We put the poll question up here. Do you think he was in the right? I mean, they ended up winning, so there's that part of it. But then there's some people who weren't happy about it. There's actually a tweet from a former player I'll get into in 1 second. But first and foremost, let's plug all the content we got on the Fanatics View channel from last night. My man Taylor working hard behind the scenes. Let's look at some of the videos we got. So post-game content for the Vancouver Canucks. Big win in Buffalo. Shouldn't say big win, but win last night against the Buffalo Sabres. Pretty good game overall. You can see a lot of post-fight stuff here. You can see this as well. Actually, just the one post-fight interview, but then we also got some stuff for the Dallas Stars and some content there as well. So again, make sure you're subscribed to the channel to get that post-game content. You're not going to get that everywhere else. But again, 10 minutes last night from Coach Rick Tocchet and Quinn Hughes. We'll get into those games in just a little bit. But let's start with the questions because, I want to hear from you guys. This is an interactive show. That's one of the reasons I love doing this, is being able to talk hockey with you guys. We're going to start first with my man, Nick. Quick shout out to Nick. Nick's been here for every episode. Really, really enjoy Nick interacting here. Great dude. He's part of my Discord on the MMA side of things. So thank you, Nick, for tuning in here. Went 11-2 yesterday. Gave out 2 parlays. I loved and liked and hit 1-1 on straights. Felt good. That's awesome. I had the Flyers yesterday. That was my good underdog pick. As far as some of my other picks, I had the Knights. They ended up losing yesterday. We'll get into the scoreboard in a second. And I had the Canucks last night as well, which ended up cashing. And how about the Islanders? We'll get into this in a bit. At home, losing to the Carolina Hurricanes. I know they were underdogs, but the Islanders now have lost 5 straight. That's not looking too good. That big win streak they had, kind of not as meaningful as it would have been, say, a week ago. Been enjoying hockey with my twin last night. Just a fan like myself. Feels good to get others involved. Well, I just like the fact that even me doing this show and doing some hockey talk and some of my MMA stuff has gotten people more into hockey. And that's always puts a smile on my face because I think hockey is the greatest game in the world. It's the most fun game to play. I still maintain that. And it's, in my opinion, one of the best games to watch as well. Like, it's just so entertaining. I can't wait. I think I told you guys this, or I definitely have told you guys this on this stream. I'm going to be going to the Canucks game on April 2nd. They're playing in Vegas. So I'll be heading there in 2 weeks from, or what, I guess it'll be 2 weeks today. I'll be coming back from Vegas. Just a quick trip to go watch my Vancouver Canucks play the Golden Knights. Took the Wild LA over 5.5 in Dallas, considering Dallas at -1.5. The over in that game, Wild LA, yeah, that's actually a good play. I do like that. There isn't a lot I like tonight, but that is one that I was keeping an eye on. Thoughts on the Leafs and the Capitals tonight. We'll get into that game in a little bit. Thank you, James, for bringing us hockey content. You're a legend. Well, thank you, Troy, from the MMA days, obviously supporting me, and now here on the hockey channel as well. So can't thank you enough for that. And again, big shout out to my guy, Taylor, for allowing me to do this show. I finally found someone to let me talk some hockey. So I'm always going to be very grateful to my man Taylor for letting me do this show. I mean, I don't know how long this show's going to go on. I hope it goes on forever. I love talking hockey. So if you guys are willing to show up and listen to what I have to say, then I'll keep doing this. Which Hurricanes upcoming free agents do you think are most likely to part ways with? Okay, well, I'll answer these last 2 questions, then we'll get into the action from last night. But let me go look at Cap Friendly and see who actually is a free agent for the Hurricanes. Jake Getzel is one for sure, and that's what made that trade so interesting with Pittsburgh, is that Carolina typically doesn't get rentals, but they sort of felt like they needed to go for it here. Okay, so as far as their free agents, we're going to go look on Cap Friendly. If you guys aren't bookmarking Cap Friendly on your browser, then you guys are doing it wrong here. So we got Teno Teravainen, who's going to be UFA as well. Not a huge loss for them. You've got Jake Getzel. That's a big one. You got Martin Netkiss is a RFA. One of the names that we heard that was possibly involved in that trade that the Canucks threw out there for Elias Pettersson. So we'll see if they can get something going. I know it hasn't been ideal for him either. You've got Jordan Martinook as well, who's on a pretty cheap salary there at 1.8. You got a couple RFAs and Jack Drury and Seth Jarvis. That he's going to be getting a big raise. Seth Jarvis is. So that's one you'll be keeping an eye on. And then you look on the back end, Brett Pesky. Again, he is a right shot defenseman. Like I tell you guys this every week. Like right shot defensemen are the hottest commodity in the NHL. Like that's the Canucks are dealing with this right now with Filip Hronek. I don't know if you guys heard yesterday, but basically, it sort of was reported on Donnie and Dolly yesterday, a local sports show here. Or no, it wasn't Johnny and Dolly. It was John Shannon actually yesterday on Sakaris and Price, another local show here in Vancouver, saying that basically the Hronek camp rejected the Canucks offer, and the idea was the offer was anywhere between 6 to 6.5. Like Hronek's going to get a raise, but I think from the Canucks perspective, they're like, we cannot give Filip Hronek more money than Quinn Hughes is making. So we'll see if they can come to terms. But Hronek's got a lot of leverage because again, right shot defensemen are a very hot commodity in the NHL. So Brett Pesky, who again has not played amazing this year and is 29. Is going to be a UFA next year, and we'll see. Like, again, you saw what Tanev went for and how much Tanev is supposedly asking for in the offseason. Pesky's going to get a decent amount there. Anthony DeAngelo's in the minors right now, not worth much there. Jalen Chatfield, the former Canuck, going to be a UFA as well, so we'll see if they can lock them up. But all these guys are going to need raises. And if you look at their cap space, they don't have a ton right now, but we'll see what they decide to do there as well. So, yeah, I guess to answer your question, they're going to have to figure out some things because there's a couple names here that they're going to have to figure out how they want to allocate that salary. And the Canucks have the same issue. They have something like 8 UFAs in the offseason. It's going to be really interesting to see how that looks in the offseason there. Again, guys, make sure you hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell. And by the way, I'm just looking here. Antti Ranta is going to be UFA as well. Obviously, they have a number of goaltenders here. They have Spencer Martin. When did they get Spencer Martin? How did I miss that? I guess they got him off waivers. Spencer Martin, the former Canucks goalie. That's interesting. But yeah, we'll be keeping tabs on the free agent stuff once the playoffs hit and also once the playoffs end as well. There'll be a lot to get into. Okay, let's get into the games from last night. Again, a lot of action, not so much tonight, so we got a lot to get into. Let's start first in Philadelphia with the Flyers getting the win over Toronto Maple Leafs. Again, I did bet the Flyers last night. They were plus money against the Leafs. Leafs have a habit, for whatever reason, of playing down to their opponents sometimes. And the Flyers, again, have been pretty consistent this year. So they get the win, barely holding on, though. If you look at the goals, actually, you can see there are 2 goals from the Flyers in the second period. So they were up 2-1 at one point, and then the Leafs scoring 3 in the third period. So the Leafs almost came back and won this one. If you look at the shots on goal for the Leafs on the Flyers there, 30 shots. You need more than that if you're gonna push the game here. Samsonov making 24 saves in the effort there. At least Samsonov, again, not like having a meltdown like we've seen earlier in the season. You see Austin Matthews with 2 assists. John Tavares a goal and 2 assists as well. Good for him. But yeah, the Flyers, if we just take a quick look at the standings right now, let's go through the conference. If you look at the Eastern Conference, the Flyers sitting in that 7th spot. They have just 2 points up on the Detroit Red Wings for that 8th spot right there. Sorry, the 7th spot, I should say. So yeah, big win there for the Flyers last night over the Toronto Maple Leafs. The Boston Bruins beating the Ottawa Senators. No big mystery there. Boston, big favorite in that fight. I think they were like minus 300 or something going into it. The Bruins get it done. You can see there 3 goals in the third period. Ottawa just not being able to hang on here. No real takeaways from this. Ottawa, again, I've mentioned this time and time again, they're going to be fighting for a top draft pick. Boston Bruins, if you look at them in the standings, they're first overall, like in the league. They have 97 points right now. They are up 3 points on everyone else, basically. And they played the most games. So Canucks, Rangers, the Panthers actually, could overtake them here pretty soon, just with the games in hand. They got 2 more games, so they could absolutely pass the Bruins here, depending on what happens there. Let's go through some more action from last night. We got the Red Wings holding on against the Blue Jackets. Again, the Red Wings were favored. Blue Jackets are a team. You look at after that first period, you thought the Jackets were in complete control here, 2-0. Detroit scores 2 of their own. They split it there, and then it's Patrick Kane getting the goal in overtime for the Red Wings. Big one for him there. James Reimer, who I can't believe is still playing, 35 shots on net, 32 saves. So good effort there from James Reimer, the vet. And Tarasov in net for the Blue Jackets. You can see there for the Wings. Patrick Kane with a goal and 2 assists. He's been quietly a good pickup for the Wings, who got him for free, right? He was a free agent, so that was a good pickup for them. What else? The Devils beating the Penguins. Devils at home, no shocker there. The Penguins continue to fall. What are the Penguins looking like in their last couple games? Let me just go to the standings here. Penguins are going to be getting a decent draft pick the way things are going right now. The Penguins are 3-6-1 in their last 10 games, so not good there for the Penguins. Devils, where are the Devils? Are they still alive? They got 70 points, 69 games played. So they need, they're 6 points back, and they played the same amount of games as the Red Wings. So that's going to be a tall task to get in the playoffs. You wonder if that coaching change was a little bit too late. Of course, we'll kind of go through these a little bit faster because it's going to take a bit. Jets beating the Rangers at home. Really big win for the Jets. I might have taken the Rangers last. I have to go check all my bets because I do them on multiple books. I might have taken the Rangers last night. Can't remember about that, but big win there for the Jets. Bad news for the Canucks as the Jets get another point there. So again, just quick look there. You can see there, Hellebuck making 40 saves. This is why you need those, key goaltenders on certain teams to make those saves. You look at on the opposite end, Shesterkin only making 23 saves, whereas Hellebuck making 40. So Hellebuck really carrying the team and getting the win there. The Jets right now in the Western Conference, let's go have a quick look. They are just right behind Vancouver there, and Vancouver's played one more game. So Jets could get first place here very soon. They're just a point behind the Canucks. What else? I want to take up the whole show just going over all this. Man, we got a lot of games. Okay, Hurricanes beating the Islanders. I mentioned it there. The Islanders losing 5 in a row. The Hurricanes, again, have looked really good with Jake Getzel, so that was good. I just want to quickly look at the box score there, and you can see Getzel, a goal and 2 assists. That has been working out great for them. Bo Horvat with an assist there for the Hurricanes, who, again, don't have amazing goaltending, but they have enough offensive firepower to get it done. You got the Avalanche beating the Blues. No real shocker there. Avs have been great. Predators beating the Sharks. Predators, I think, are 13 in a row. Let me double check that. I saw that tweet the other day from the NHL. Man, I don't want to play the Predators in the playoffs the way they got all this momentum right now. Let me go find the tweet right now because I saw the NHL's official account tweeting this out last night. Yeah, check this out. The Predators have tied a franchise record. If we go look at it here, 13-0-2, 15 straight games with a point. Pretty incredible. And credit to them. I mean, again, they were a team that was a bit of a seller, right? They got rid of Ryan Johansson and made some moves in the offseason, and they got a new coach. They got Andrew Brunette, who, someone that kind of got unfairly ousted out of Florida. And then and obviously did the assistant job last year with New Jersey, gets the head coach job in Nashville. So they've been on quite the roll. Great time of year to be hot as far as the Predators go. And where are they right now in the standings? Whoops. They are, you can see there, the Predators are at 84 points, 69 games played. So again, making up some ground, but they are rising very quickly in the Western Conference. What else do we have? The Oilers beating the Canadiens. I had money on the Canadiens just because I thought the odds were so off. Oilers were like almost minus 500. And the Canadiens actually tied this game in the first period. I was mentioning this in my Discord yesterday. Game was tied 2-2, and then the Oilers end up getting the OT winner. Again, Oilers get the win. That's all that matters. They're slowly catching up to the Canucks. Wild beating the Ducks 4-0. I stayed away from this game. Two teams that aren't really in it right now. The Kings beating the Blackhawks. No surprise there. The Canucks, like I mentioned, beating the Sabres last night. The thing I liked about the Canucks, just good overall play. 33 shots on net. And the Canucks only allowing 17 shots on Casey DeSmith. And remember, the Canucks still don't have Demko, and they're still getting wins. I know Buffalo's not an amazing team. If you look at the standings right now, they are sort of on the outside looking in at spot number 11, but still good win there for the Canucks, who actually, people on the radio were talking about how they haven't looked great since the All-Star break. I think they're 9-7 and something. But if you actually look at the Canucks, like last 10 games, they've been decent, right? They've been 6-2-2. That's not terrible. So overall, lately, they've been better. And good to see Pettersson score last night. He's been in a bit of a slump since the All-Star game. Good to see him get a point there, too. And I'll say this as well, and I was talking to my buddy last night, Jeremy Brand, about this. Ilya Mikheyev looking really good as of late. He's been struggling, obviously, hasn't been able to score. He got the goal the other night. But good to see him find his footing a little bit more over there. And just some other scores we'll mention. The last game, the Golden Knights losing to the Tampa Bay Lightning. Lightning are always a tough team to play, but the Golden Knights at home, you got to be winning those games right now. You can see Lightning getting 2 goals in the first and 3 in the third period. How does that happen? Adin Hill. Again, you got to wonder here about the goaltending for Vegas. This may, they did all these great moves, and then at the end of the day, I know Adin Hill won a cup with them last year, but is he legit? Obviously he won a cup, but I don't know, man. You're only making 16 saves on 20 shots and you're allowing 4 goals. That's not good. And the whole team's got to play better. I mean, you can't be losing games like this. Again, I know Tampa's a better team, but you're allowing 3 goals in the third. That to me is not enough push late in the game there. So the Knights do lose. But like I mentioned, taking a quick look at the standings here. Right now, if the playoffs started today, it would be the Canucks and the Golden Knights, Jets and the Kings, Avs and the Predators and the Oilers and the Stars. So we got a lot of good matchups in the Western Conference, and conversely on the Eastern side, the Bruins and the Red Wings, classic original six matchup. You got the Panthers and the Flyers. That'll be fun. Rangers and Lightning, can't like that enough. And the Hurricanes and the Leafs, that could get really interesting there. Imagine if Anderson's in net for that one, playing his former team. So a lot of good stuff going on in the NHL right now as far as that goes. Let's get to some more questions, and we'll get into some news. There's a lot going on, and we'll also talk about John Tortorella as well. I think Torts was in the right to bench his captain because he's benched players like Atkinson and Tippett earlier in the season, and it would be bad luck to not hold other players to the same level. I would agree. Look, like we've seen other coaches do this. Let's get to while we're on this topic, because we did want to get into this. I wanted to talk about the tweet from Brandon Dubinsky, former NHLer who played with John Tortorella both in I think it was New York and Columbus. So he's played with both. He says, Torts, your tactics are getting old. Instead of scratching and embarrassing your captain, one of the best players, how about try and tell him I'm giving you 20 minutes tomorrow night, no matter what, with PP and PK, and go play free and get it effing done. Don't want to swear in here. Don't want to get demonetized. I can understand this frustration. I'm sure there's people who don't like the old school approach to John Tortorella, but they won last night. This would look way worse if they lost. They ended up winning. At the end of the day, you have to look at this as the right decision for the simple fact that they ended up winning. And the Flyers, they need wins right now. Nothing's guaranteed as far as them making the playoffs. So I think I don't mind this because it says, like you just said there, Troy, it holds everyone accountable. You have a bad game. It doesn't matter if you're the captain or you've been here a long time. It doesn't matter if you're a rookie. We're going to have the same standard here. So personally, I don't mind it if someone's played bad. If you're not doing what you're supposed to do, it sends a message. And I'm sure Couturier is pissed off, but I guarantee you that will light a spark under him. So I know Dubinsky's not happy, but I'm just a guy behind a microphone here saying otherwise. Columbus Blue Jackets, Wade Martin. Yeah, I figured that. We kind of figured that out from the cap friendly there. I totally missed that, by the way. Because Spencer Martin, Canucks traded him to the Jackets in the offseason when they got Casey DeSmith, which I'll say this. Again, I know DeSmith's numbers haven't been out of this world. Way better situation than last year with Spencer Martin and Colin Delia. Which I don't even know if Delia's been playing much in the NHL this year. Boston is in first place, but 6 teams have more regulation wins. Boston has been OT point merchants all year. You're not kidding. I just noticed this year. Boston has 15 overtime wins. That's the most in the that's tied with most in the league with the Islanders. So, yeah, it's certainly been interesting. But Boston, listen, I don't like the Bruins. You guys know my feelings on this. 2011 still very fresh in my mind as far as what's happened there. But they're good. I mean, and they got the goaltending, and they got a well-balanced lineup, and they play hard, and they've got guys that are willing to step up and play physical. That's what you need. You need a good balance. That's something the Canucks are missing right now a little bit, is the physicality, and that's when getting a guy like Dakota Joshua back right before the playoffs, or who knows when he's coming back, but that's going to certainly help the team big time. Benching your captain is a move. Yes, it is. It is, for sure. It's, we've seen it happen before. I mean, there's certain situations where it's just not needed. I mean, remember Mike Babcock doing that to Jason Spezza when he played in Toronto, or he did that to Mike Modano, I think, when he was making his return to Dallas or something. I can't remember. No, it was Boston, I think, his hometown or something. I forget what it was. But yeah, sometimes it's warranted. I think in this situation, though, it's getting close to playoff time. You need everyone you can. I don't mind Torts doing this at all. I know your friend got you the Canucks tickets. Were they a lot? Good seats? Apparently, yeah. Where am I sitting, actually? I'm going to read the text from my buddy right now. He says, where are this as well? Section 14, row P. Let's go look where this is right now. I'm going to have a look. Las Vegas Golden Knights seating chart. To answer your question, though, tickets are expensive. However, I will mention this. I had tickets for the Seattle Kraken last year, not this past year, year before. They were more expensive than Vegas, and I had worse seats. Kraken, I think, have the highest ticket prices, and I'm guessing it's because, of the fact that they're it's a new arena and all that stuff too. So I'm looking at the seating map here. I might have to actually look up tickets. Las Vegas Golden Knights tickets. That'll give me a better option to see exactly where I'm sitting for this game. I know this is not great, great. Stuff to view on here, but I'm curious myself. I want to do this in real time to see exactly where I'm sitting here. Actually, you can see the tickets for yourself. We'll go here right now. I think these are in American, not Canadian. So these are tickets for the game tonight, or March 21st. Sorry, tomorrow night. So I am in. He told me I'm in section P, row 14. Section 14, row P. So section 14, row P. zoom in a little bit. Are they going to let me zoom in? Come on. Yeah, there we go. Let's see if we can zoom in a bit more here. Usually they give you the seat. Anyways, I'm in row P, which is lower bowl. Anything lower bowl is fine with me. I'm not that picky. But yeah, I don't know. It's not showing me exactly where it is. So I'll be on the opposite side of the ice, but that's fine. Any lower bowl tickets, I'll take those any day of the week. Another good spot if you're going to watch hockey, I do this all the time in Vancouver because the tickets are typically cheaper, but you get a great view, is upper bowl center. So I think I got tickets for the Hurricanes game, Canucks and Hurricanes earlier this year. They were $130 each, which is decent. I mean, I think if you're paying a little bit over, if you're paying under $200 for tickets, I think that's a good value personally. Would you rather take a flyer on Nashville at plus 2,500 or Tampa at plus 3,000 to win it all? Tampa. Tampa's been there. They've got the experience. They have the goaltending. I know Saros has been very good for the Predators this year, but I would rather take Tampa 100%, even though they've been a little bit inconsistent this year. Explain cap friendly. Would it help me? Okay, sure. Let's go through cap friendly right now for anyone who's noobs. And if you're not noobs, apologies if this is sort of old news here. But basically how it works is, so cap friendly, projected cap hit. It just talks about how much the hit has. The LTIR use, so like what Vegas did. Here, let's go look at Las Vegas's LTIR. Cap friendly Las Vegas. This is something we talked about a few weeks ago. So if you look on here, look at this. LTIR used for Vegas, 8 million. Right? So that's money that they pay, but it doesn't count against the cap because it's on injured reserve. So yeah, the Hurricanes have not used any LTIR space. Their projected cap space is 600, just close to 700,000, which isn't much. That's like a, not even league minimum type player around there. So how it works is, yeah, so cap friendly, basically they have the entire roster, which is great. They have their years of like under contracts. So you look here, Sebastian Aho locked up until 28, 29, even beyond 21, 30, 20, 31, 32 is how long he's locked up for. And then you look here, UFA means unrestricted free agent. RFA means restricted free agent, meaning that you need to re-up your contract, but you still have the, no team can sign you unless they sign you to an offer sheet. So I'll give you an example. Let's use Martin Netkus as an example here. He's an RFA. So the Hurricanes have to sign him. They can trade him. They can take him to arbitration. I think he has arbitration, right, as an RFA. I think they can do that as well. Depending on the certain year, I think is the deal there. So you see there, his cap hit in this year was $3 million. So he'll be looking for a raise, I'm sure, being 25. And he's sort of, 25 is a really great age to re-sign someone. You can either do a bridge deal where you do a shorter deal or do a long deal like Elias Pettersson did there as well. So he's an RFA. So the Hurricanes either have to sign him to a contract, whether that, like I said, a bridge or a long-term deal, or they can trade him and then some other team will have to sign him. Now, here's the other thing that teams can do. They can do an offer sheet. So let's say, I don't know, we'll pick another random team. Let's do team with cap space. Let's say the Ottawa Senators go and say, we're going to offer Martin Netkus a, $5 million contract per season for 4 seasons. The Carolina Hurricanes have the right to match that contract, and then he would therefore stay with the Hurricanes, or they could let him walk, and then I think the Senators would have to give him some sort of compensation. But the offer sheet thing hasn't happened that often. Kotkaniemi, who's actually on the Hurricanes, he was part of Montreal, and he was an RFA, and the Hurricanes went out and I believe they did an offer sheet with him, if I'm not mistaken. Let me double check that. I'm pretty sure that was the case, but just in case I'm wrong, don't want people to be like, oh, you're wrong. Offer sheet. Kotkaniemi was officially a member of the Carolina Hurricanes. Canadiens general manager Marc Bergevin announced Saturday he wouldn't match the 1 year $6.1 million offer. There you go. So the Hurricanes did do the offer sheet thing with the Montreal Canadiens, and there's a whole backstory. I forget which player it was that the Hurricanes did this to, that irked Montreal, or that irked the Hurricanes to do this as well. But anyways, so. Hope that explains it. So basically, this just shows on Cap Friendly, it shows the entire roster, how much they're paid, how old they are, how much of a percentage they take up with the cap, with their salary, when they're, UFA. So if you're a UFA, you can sign with anyone. You don't have to do the match sheet thing. So if the Hurricanes don't sign, say, Jake Getzel before July 1st, then he can sign with any other team and Hurricanes get nothing in return. This is what happened with Johnny Gaudreau and the Calgary Flames. Columbus signed him and Calgary got nothing back, and they were pissed, obviously, because they thought they were going to be able to re-sign Gaudreau, and they got nothing out of it. So that's what you never want to happen as a team. You never want to see a player go to unrestricted free agency without getting anything back. One strategy that a lot of teams will do before July 1st is if they don't feel like they're going to sign the player, just get a draft pick out of it, get something. That way you're not losing him for nothing. So other teams will do that, because basically what happens is before July 1st, the teams have exclusive negotiating rights. Like Getzel may be a UFA, but he can only negotiate with Carolina up until July 1st, and then after that he can negotiate with anyone. James, what team in your opinion is considered a cup contender, but they're actually frauds? Please don't say Vancouver. No, I don't think Vancouver are frauds, and I've explained this before because they have the goaltending. Again, goaltending is a huge part of the playoffs. You want to talk about a fraud, and again, I can talk about this on here because it's not MMA and people aren't going to call me biased or whatever. Frauds, like, I don't know. I think I said this last time, but I think I'm not going to say the Knights are fraud because they are a deep team, but their goaltending is a little bit shaky. I'm going to go LA Kings, okay? They have not been consistent enough for me as of late, although saying that, they're just about the same as Canucks over their last 10 games. It's the goaltending. Like, I think that they missed out on getting a good goaltender, and I think they're frauds in the sense that I don't think they'll win the cup because of that. I don't think Cam Talbot will get it done. We had Stephen Ellis on here last week, and he knows a lot more about hockey than I do, and he seems to think that Talbot will be fine, but I have my reservations, so we sort of disagree on that. So we'll go with the Kings, and then maybe in the East, we'll go with the Red Wings. I'm not sold on them. We'll go with them. Thought about going to a game tomorrow in Vegas, birthday game, but probably going to save the money. No. Go. Trust me, you won't regret it. Like, I will say one thing for you guys, like, going to a game in Vegas is 100% worth the price of admission. Like, I paid for tickets a couple of years ago to go see the Canucks play, and it was amazing. I don't remember anything about how much I paid or anything like that. The one thing I would recommend, if you're going to drink before the game, because it costs a lot to get drinks there. But I can't say enough good things about going to see a game in Vegas. Like, just to experience it. You might overpay and you might feel like whatever, but go pay the money to go see a game. If you're in Vegas, highly recommend going to see a Golden Knights game. I was actually talking to a fighter yesterday, and he's like, I couldn't afford to go to a Vegas game. I went to see the Henderson Knights play, which is their AHL team. And I'm like, man, you missed out. Like, you got to go see the Golden Knights. Were you at the 2011 riot? I was not. I was living in Toronto at the time. I probably would have been down there if I was living here, but I would never take part in a riot. There's a whole thing that people miss about that whole riot thing. I'll briefly talk about it here, but like, people say that was all Canucks fans that were rioting. That's not true. There were a lot of people upset that the Olympics had come that year, because they did a lot of times when they do the Olympics, they have to vote, like the city has to vote on it to allow the Olympics to come there. And a lot of people didn't want to see the Olympics come here. And so a lot of them went down there when the Canucks lost and just used it as an excuse to riot. I know there's people wearing Canucks jerseys and all that. It could have been that, whole, I don't know what that effect's called, where someone starts doing something dumb and then people sort of do it as well. But I know a lot of Canucks fans that were embarrassed by that. I was one of them, and I wasn't even in the city. But I know truly that, like, passionate Canucks fans are not like that. That's a lot of, people that were upset about the Olympics, was my understanding with everything. They did a whole thing on ESPN about it, which I have yet to watch. I've yet to find it. Good afternoon, James. Been slacking on hockey lately. Could you maybe give me a quick rundown of what's been happening over the past week, like big stories, big games? Well, we talked about it there. John Tortorella benching his captain, Sean Couturier, last night. That was a big story. And one we got to get into, and, this is really, really tough to talk about, but... and I was going to address this, obviously. You can't glance over it. Chris Simon, former NHL enforcer, dying at 52 years of age due to suicide. I kind of figured that was the case. All the stories came out yesterday, didn't say the cause of death. I don't know why they can't just say it's a suicide when it comes out. Like, I think it's pretty obvious that someone had killed themselves. Maybe they needed more evidence. Like, maybe they just saw someone passed out and they didn't know how he got there. But I hate to say it, but he was an enforcer. Probably had some CTE. Older guy. We hear a lot of bad stories in football and hockey about people killing themselves because of, brain issues. And it seems like there's a good case for that. So I'll always remember Chris Simon. He had back in the day, he had the long hair. Let me find some photos of Chris Simon. He had like the long hair and the mustache, very unique looking, really, really tough enforcer, played for a bunch of different teams. Yeah, this is the old Chris Simon I remember. Check out this hair. Looked like a fighter, like a MMA fighter. It looked like he part of like a metal band. Great dude though. You hear from a lot of his teammates coming out and talking about him and the impact he had. It's sad, man. As a Canucks fan, we had this happen years ago with Rick Rippon killing himself as well. So, You know what? If you can take one thing from this, because I'm not a mental health expert or anything like that, check in on your friends, guys, especially a lot of older guys. I think, you know, I know mental health's talked about at the forefront, but, you know, these days, like there's a lot of causes and, you know, mental health days and stuff like that, but just check in on your friends. Go look on your phone list. If there's someone you've seen on there that you haven't seen for a while, give them a call, see how they're doing. Everyone's got challenges, big or small, but it doesn't hurt to just catch up with someone and see how they're doing. So there we go. RFA means the team can match any offer from another team's correct. That's how it works in other sports I follow. There we go. John, good to hear from you, buddy. Always love talking to my guy, John. Great dude in my Discord. Thank you for joining me here, John. Can't wait for the playoffs in our playoff pool. Yes, so if any of you are interested in joining my playoff pool that aren't part of my Discord, hit me up and maybe we'll try and get you in as well. But right now it's just for people in my Discord. Favorite international hockey game you've ever watched? Ooh, well, I guess any of the golden goal by Sidney Crosby's got to be up there in Vancouver when he scored the winning goal against the U.S. That's got to be up there. There's been a bunch of good World Juniors. Like I remember the World Juniors, I want to say 2004, 2003. That was a good team. Any of the Canada ones. I remember the one when I was a kid when Joe Sakic scored for Canada. I want to say this was like 98, 99. Or was it 2003? When did Canada win gold? Canada won gold in hockey 2003, I think. Olympics. Canada winning hockey Olympic gold. What years? I forget what year that was. It was 2002. That's right. At Salt Lake City. That was probably one of my favorites for sure. What's up, Jeremy? Good to hear from you, buddy. I'm excited to go golfing with you this weekend. Appreciate you tuning in. Which team do you not want the Canucks to play in round one? I worry about the Preds. Preds are up there for sure. I'll also go with, just looking at the standings here, people say the Oilers, but again, the Oilers goaltending, like I still have some questions about that. I wouldn't really worry too much about the Oilers. Honestly, just because of the way they've played us this year, I would probably go the Avalanche. Yeah, the Avs are scary, man. They're good. They're good balanced lineup. They got some goaltending questions too, like Tiny. I mean, Gorgiev has been okay. He hasn't been like outstanding. Them or maybe the Jets, because the Jets have the goaltending. Actually, you know what? I will say the Jets. I mean, they might have to play them at some point if the Canucks win their first round matchup and the Jets win theirs. But they got Hellebuck, right? Like, again, Hellebuck is a better goaltender than Demko. That's what it comes down to. So I'll probably go the Jets, especially with them getting to Foley. And like, I don't know what I got to look up the stats, Jeremy. You know this too. Ever since we lost to Foley because of stupid Jim Benning picking Jake Virtanen over him, Toffoli's been like a Canuck killer. If you look at the stats, like he's totally killed us that way. I would have agreed with Vegas's frauds, but I agree with the Kings as well. Vegas has been really bad lately. They have, and they got to get it together. They might Vegas, like, imagine this, guy, seriously, like, because it could happen. Let's quickly look at the standings here. Vegas could miss the playoffs. They absolutely could. I mean, again, that was a key. Like, Tampa's a good team. I'm not going to complete, like, it's not like they lost to like Anaheim or something, right? But they have 68 games played. They have 79 points. They're 3 up on the Minnesota Wild, who have Vegas has a game in hand. But even St. Louis is creeping up. Like, look at this. Vegas 4-6 in their last 10. That's not good. It's a terrible time to be playing bad. So, you know what? I love the Knights, and I'm not one of these people that like, oh, they're an expansion team and they won the cup. They're just fun, and I love I think because I've been to a bunch of Vegas games, I kind of like I don't hate them like other people do. But I got to be honest, part of me wants to see them miss the playoffs because of all that cap stuff that the NHL let them get away with. Like, how do you, like, the Canucks were handcuffed because of Tucker Pullman being injured, and he's retired, and they have him on the LTIR, and they can't acquire a Jake Getzel because of cap issues. And the Knights can get like Noah Hannafin and these other guys. Like, I think it would be hilarious if the Knights missed, personally, even though I do like them as a team. What's your favorite international hockey game moment? The golden goal by Sidney Crosby. That riot would have happened, win or lose, in my opinion. I agree. Well said, Jeremy. Sucka, Nashville is straight danger. I agree. Yeah, can't, guys, follow MMA Sucka, by the way. My good buddy Jeremy Brand, one of the really, really good guys in the MMA industry. Great dude. Good golf player too. One of my good buddies. Go shout out to Jeremy. Go check out his YouTube channel as well. As an MMA fan, I'm surprised about how brutal hockey is. Yeah, it can be brutal, for sure. It's very, very physicality as well. Any teams that have fallen off for the past couple of weeks that are also fringe contenders that have looked amazing. So yeah, Vegas not look so good. Let's look through some of the teams that are in playoff position right now that are actually stumbling a bit. I think that's a good place to start. So if you look at it here, and by the way, remind me, guys, we still have time here. We got about 20 minutes, but remind me to talk about tonight's games. There aren't that many, but I don't want to miss it, as you guys keep asking me questions here. So let me just quickly do one thing here. Gotta let people know we're live again. I think I only did one retweet on that. Okay, so we're looking at the Western Conference. Canucks have been okay. Look at that. The Avs have been 9-1. Jesus, they've won 7 in a row. Again, that's a dangerous team. So yeah, the Golden Knights 4-6 haven't looked so hot. The Blues have been okay, but they're trying to battle for their playoff lives. So they need. How about Seattle? Seattle at one point was in the playoffs. They're 4-5-1. They've lost 3 in a row. That's an extremely bad look here for a team that was in the playoffs last year. So yeah, as far as like teams that are on the rise, the Wild are 6-2-2. They're moving up there a bit. The Knights are falling, so that's a bit interesting to check out as well. Obviously, the Predators are really hot too. So that's what we got going on in the Western Conference. The Eastern Conference, the Islanders 5-4-1 in their last 10. They've lost 2 in a row here as well. Why did they say on the radio this morning that they'd lost 5 in a row? They haven't. They've only lost 2. But anyways, I guess they're yeah. So the Islanders are stumbling, and they desperately need to make the playoffs. Remember, they made that big trade for Bo Horvat last year. The Red Wings, look at this, 2-8. Yikes! Like they are stumbling at the worst possible time. The Flyers, I mean, they got the win last night, but they lose that. They're going to be what, 4-5-1. That's not good. So they needed that win last night. Tampa's been playing great. Look at that, 7-2. The Leafs have also been stumbling a little bit here, 5-4-1. And then the Devils, they're pretty much out of it, 3-7. The Pittsburgh 3-6. So yeah, I'd say like teams that are on the rise here, like Washington's definitely been playing better, as has even though they're 6-4, like it's not amazing, but I'd say Washington's a team to keep an eye on. And then as far as teams like stumbling out, you got the Wings, and you've also got the Leafs as well, not playing great, but the Leafs will make the playoffs. I don't think there's any question about that as well. When you played, did you play with any future NHLers? I played with Cam Ward, Alex Steen, among others. Oh, that's cool. My only claim to fame was I played with a guy who ended up going to. Well, a guy that was in my elementary school and in my high school, he went to play for the Medicine Hat Tigers. But the biggest one for me was Brent Seabrook. He's from my hometown, which is not that big. There's actually like a jersey hanging of him in the Save On Foods grocery store that I go to pretty much all the time. So Brent Seabrook's from here, and like even my dad knows his dad type thing. And Seabrook was in like a hockey camp I was in when I was really young. But Seabrook, obviously of the Chicago Blackhawks, who won a bunch of cups. Brent Seabrook's the only one that I can say that. We have a few other people that are from this area that have done like good things like well, actually I don't know if they're from here originally, but like whatchamacallit, like Tristan Jarry's parents are from here. Brendan Gallagher's parents are from here. By the way, I heard on the radio the other day, Brendan Gallagher might be getting bought out by the Habs. I wonder if he'd come and play for the Canucks on like a cheap deal or something. Not that they really like need a player like him, but maybe these, some of these hometown guys will take discounts. Look at Curtis Lazar a couple seasons ago. He took less money to come here and play, and it didn't work out. I think Toronto bounces back tonight, but the Caps have been playing well. Yeah, so let's look at the games tonight. And again, odds brought to you by Bodog. Again, Bodog, I'm still waiting for my my pay on all the free publicity I'm giving you guys here. Maybe I should talk to Bodog about that and be like, look, I'm doing you guys a favor here. Okay, so just 3 games in the NHL tonight. Let's start with the first one here. Do I bet the Capitals? They're at home. They're plus money. The Leafs lost last night. They just played. I guess the Capitals played last night too, right? Did they play last night? Did I glance over them? No, they had the night off. Ooh. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to bet the Capitals tonight at home. Plus 110. Yeah, that's good. By the way, if you heard it earlier, I think it was from Nick, taking the over in the Wild and Kings game. I definitely think that hits. Too bad, not great goaltenders. Although does Fleury in net for them tonight? I don't know. I'm not sure, but they seem to be scoring a lot lately. So I like the over in that. Dallas minus 300 against the Coyotes. I mean, Dallas should win. That's a little too steep for me, the minus 300. I don't even know if there's like an over or under that's worth it too. Although Ottinger hasn't been playing that great. Maybe you do look at the over there. That's plus money. Maybe take a small stab on that. But yeah, so for tonight, I'll take the Capitals at plus money. I'll take the Stars, obviously. I'm going to take the Kings. I might even bet the Kings at minus 150. They're at home. Wild did win the other night, but the Kings have been looking good. Yeah, not much to talk about tonight. So you like Toronto, but again, you're getting the Caps at home at plus money. That's pretty tempting to take. So we'll go with that. Maybe touch lightly on Thursday's games too. Yes, let's talk about Thursday's games as well, because we don't have a lot going on here today. So for tomorrow, because again, I wish I could do the show every day, honestly. I could talk hockey 24/7. You guys know me. Let's look at the games for Thursdays, though. Thursday's games. So you can see there, we've got Flyers and Hurricanes. Hurricanes at home. Let's see if the Flyers can continue their momentum. Hurricanes at home, and they've been playing great lately. That's going to be tough for the Flyers. Jets at the Devils. Jets are on the road. They won the other night. Devils haven't been playing great. I will probably take the Jets there. Rangers and Bruins, stay away from this one. Might take the under in this one just because, again, two really good teams. Blues and Senators, flip a coin. Blues probably win that. Islanders, Red Wings, two teams that have been struggling a lot. Depending on the line, I might take the Islanders. Because, again, if you look overall over the last little bit, the Islanders have been playing well. They have to snap that losing streak. The Wings snapped their losing streak already. I'll be keeping an eye on the Islanders on that line as well. Predators and Panthers. Can the Preds continue their run? I think it might end here. You got the Panthers at home, one of the best teams in the league. I'll be looking at the Panthers for a bet there as well. Sabres and Oilers. I've been continuing to bet against the Oilers. It didn't work out last night, but I was close. Sabres did lose last night to the Canucks. Again, if the Oilers are like minus 300 again, then I might take a stab on the Sabres as dogs. Blackhawks and Ducks, flip a coin, don't care there. Canucks against Canadians. Canucks should win. I mean, Canadians are not a good team. They did press the Oilers a bit last night, but the Canucks should beat the Canadians. We'll see what the line is there. Lightning, I like them obviously against the Sharks, but they'll be huge favorites. But maybe you parlay like the Lightning and I don't know what's another team that should like definitely win. Maybe you parlay like the Lightning and the Jets together if you wanted to do something there. And the Kraken and the Golden Knights, two teams that have been struggling a bit. I'll take Vegas at home. What's Vegas's home record this year? Vegas is at home. You'd think it's pretty decent. Wow. Yeah, look at that. 21-11-2 at home, whereas they're 15-14-5 on the road. Yeah, I'll take them at home in that game as well. And then looking ahead to the weekend, let's do a quick preview of that as well, since we got some time here, guys. Hurricanes, Capitals, Penguins, Stars, Blue Jacks, Avalanche. Again, Hurricanes are playing a lot of games lately. Capitals have been good. Might look at the Capitals there. Stars should beat the Penguins. Avalanche should beat the Blue Jackets. And I'm staying away from Kraken Coyotes. On Saturday, we got a bunch of good games here. Jets and Islanders. Again, Jets have, comfortably there, but the Islanders we'll see how the Islanders played the other night, but I'll be keeping an eye on that line. Bruins and Flyers is going to be a great tilt. Blues and Wild. We can skip that. Red Wings, Predators. Predators at home, that's probably a good spot to bet them. Senators and Devils, stay away from that. Oilers and Leafs, stay away from that. Panthers, Rangers, potential playoff preview here. I'll look at the under for that game, but that's going to be a good one. Flames and Canucks. Canucks should win. Flames are pretty much done. Blackhawks and Sharks fighting for that top draft pick. Lightning and Kings, good tilt there. Kings at home might be worth a stab, as is the Knights at home as well. So we'll look at that. And a lot of good games coming up here. We're getting close to the playoffs, guys. So really, really excited to see how this all unfolds the rest of the way there as well. What do we got? I feel like the Flyers are going to follow, but they keep proving me wrong. I know they look good to start out last night. Of all the current Western Conference playoff teams, Vegas Golden Knights is the worst goal differential. Yeah, let me look at did they have goal differential on here? Yeah, they do. Okay, check this out. So Vegas is plus 14. Yeah. So Vegas only has 14 more goals than their opponent type thing. Yikes. Look at the Coyotes there. Oh my God. Look at this. Goal differential. Look at San Jose. Check this out. This is how much San Jose has been scored on this year. I got to show you guys the stat. 126 goal differential between the teams they're playing. Yikes. Is there even a team that's close to that? Even in the Eastern Conference, the Jackets are only at 48. They're not even double that. Minus 126. That's incredible. And the Blackhawks not that far behind at 96. Yikes. But you're right. Vegas at 14. Where are the Canucks at goal differential? They're 55. They got to be one of the tops in the leagues. Other than the Panthers. The Panthers have the top spot there, but the Canucks in second. So that's good. That means the Canucks are scoring a lot, which is great. So good stuff there. Good stat, by the way. This is going to sound like me complaining, but I understand why Columbus Blue Jackets can rarely get a first overall pick. The fan base continuously sells. Even though the team is horrible, they deserve a superstar. I agree. Have they traded picks, though, would be my question. I honestly can't remember if they've loaded up. I feel like they haven't. But here, this is why I don't like the Oilers. And I've talked about this before. How many first overall picks have the Oilers had over the years? A ton. Taylor Hall, McDavid, Nugent Hopkins, Nail Yakupov. Come on, man. The Canucks have never had a first overall pick in their entire franchise history. The Blue Jackets, I think the only one they've had really was Rick Nash, right? Was he even first overall in that draft? I'm trying to remember. I feel like they haven't had a number of first overall picks. Was Nash first overall? He was, yes, in 2002. By the way, I see Rick Nash being I think he's the GM for the Canadian team, the Canadian championship teams. I saw that as well. Hockey's the best sport, man. It's so awesome. I agree. Stars are a weird team to bet. Sometimes they look like the best team in the league. Sometimes they look average. Sometimes their games have 12 goals, sometimes 2. It's Ottinger. I think a lot of that comes down to Ottinger. He's been very inconsistent. I think, again, you need your goalie to stand on your head like Hellebuck did last night. That's not happening all the time. Favorite jersey of all time? Mine is the dark blue Hartford Whalers and Nordique Whites. Oh, let's go look those up. Hartford Whalers. So you're talking these jerseys. Yeah, I like these jerseys a lot too. John with the good fashion tips here. Yeah, that's a dope, especially this one. I like the light green on it. That looks really cool. I didn't really like this one that much. Although you don't see too much green there, but this green there looks really cool. And you're seeing the Nordiques white. Quebec. Yeah, because that baby blue stands out. I kind of like the blue ones better, if I'm being honest. I like these ones, the Quebec Nordiques blue. That just screams like 90s hockey. Look at that. Oops, let me just go to images. Yeah, you can see them there. Favorite jersey for me, I love the Canucks third jersey 2021. I think that's the one. No, not 2021, 2022. This one. I love this jersey. This is the for Canucks jersey, basically. I really like that one. Very simple. I like the dark green instead of the light one here. The blue looks great. I got that in Quinn Hughes behind me. Really, really good jersey there. I still like the New Jersey Devils jerseys. New Jersey Devils jersey. Like, look how badass that. I mean, the green I kind of like, but I almost prefer just the black. Like, look how good that looks. This is a solid jersey that stands out. I was at a game. I was actually covering a UFC a couple years ago, and the Devils were playing the Golden Knights, and I saw a bunch of people wearing the jerseys, and they just look really nice. I think that's, yeah, one of the best looking jerseys in the league. What's another jersey I like? As far as like logos and stuff, I'm kind of a sucker for this, but the Anaheim Mighty Ducks old one, the purple, I like that one for some reason. I don't know why. Not this one. This one, like with the stripe and everything. That I like. That looks really cool. I don't like their new ones. What do you guys think? Like, I know, again, because they're not owned by Disney or anything anymore, so they shouldn't be the Mighty Ducks anymore. But the Ducks with like the orange and that, I don't know. I'm not like a big. Actually, I like the orange better than the like. I remember originally it was just gold and black. I like a little bit of the orange in there, but their original ones, like with the duck with the cross on there, I don't know. Maybe it's because I grew up with that. That's like an iconic one for me as well. So, yeah, those are some good jerseys of looking to get some. What's the worst team of all time, and in this year's Sharks close to the worst team ever? No, I mean, if you look at the standings right now, the Sharks have won 16 games. I want to say the Ottawa Senators when they first came in the league. Let me go look at their record there. Ottawa Senators. Here, hold on. Worst NHL team of all time. The Montreal Wanderers. Okay, I'm talking. Okay, hold on. Worst NHL team of all time in the modern era. Yeah, they're saying the Montreal. Okay, here we go. List of all-time NHL standings. Let's see here. Yeah, the Montreal Wanderers are from like 1917, so we can disqualify them. I feel like it's the worst NHL team of all. Which NHL team of all time? Top 10 worst NHL teams of all time. This is from 2011. Oh yeah, here we go. The 90 here. This is an article from Bleacher Report. We'll go look at it here. The Ottawa Senators in 93-94 won 14 games. So the Sharks only have 2 more wins, but I think they'll get more than that. But yeah, they had 14 wins for the season. The Nordiques had 12 wins. The Islanders in 73. Let's count teams that. The 1980-81 Jets had 9 wins. Jesus, imagine paying tickets to that. The Quebec Bulldogs, forget about that. The 92-93 Ottawa Senators only had 10 wins. The Sharks in 92-93 only had 11 wins. Yeah, we'll go with. So what was the team that had 9? Yeah, it would be the 92-93 Ottawa Senators because they had 10 wins. I'm talking about teams in the modern era, not like back when electricity was getting invented, that type of thing. No, actually, sorry. No, it would be the 80-81 Winnipeg Jets. That would be the worst team. They had 9 wins. Yikes. Although, was this... I'm trying to see if that was... Let me just double check something. Let's go look at the Winnipeg Jets. Yeah, so I need the, I guess, Phoenix Coyotes, because that's what they were originally. Phoenix Coyotes. This will show the old Jets. No, why aren't they showing the old Winnipeg Jets? Maybe I need to go back here. Let me go see here. Winnipeg Jets. I'm just trying to see if that 80-81 team was actually an NHL team and it wasn't the WHA. Winnipeg Jets. Anyways, takes too long to find, but we'll just go with that Jets team. Jets team or the Senators. I think I was close. The Senators only had one more win anyway, so we'll say the 92-93 Ottawa Senators. They were pretty bad. Let's go look who was on that roster back then, just for craps and giggles. So 92-93, they had, look at this team. Norm McIver, Jamie Baker, Mark Lamb. Who do they have in net back then? Steve Weeks. Remember him? Yeah. Not good. Look at these save percentages, 6.67, 7.23. Yeah, they didn't have much of anything there. So there we go. Do you think Columbus Blue Jackets should permanently switch to the Cannon jerseys? Let me see what I'm trying to remember what those look like. Columbus Blue Jackets Cannon jerseys. Is that just with the lettering on it? No. Cannon jerseys. Oh, these ones. I don't like the I like the concept, like with the logo in the middle. I just feel like it's too small looking, no? Like I like this design. I just think it's too small. I actually don't mind this one here with the blue jacket and the thing on the end. I think that one looks good, but that's just me. What do you think of the old North Star jerseys, green and yellow? I actually really like those jerseys. We Bodog had a poll question about the North Stars today. For those who don't know, North Stars jerseys. I actually owned one at one point. Look at those things. They're beautiful. The North Star? Yeah, I'm a fan. Those look cool. That green really pops with the green and yellow. Which players do you think the Canucks are most likely to part ways with? I think, I hope this doesn't happen, but I could see them not keeping Zadorov only because he's a left shot defenseman, and I think he wants like a long-term contract, and Zadorov's a bit older, and you don't want to give long-term contracts to guys that are in their 30s. I think Zadorov is what? How old? Nikita Zadorov. I really like Zadorov. I know he's struggled a little bit this season. He's 28. Like, you don't want to be giving a guy like that a huge contract. Then he's a left shot D, which is easier to find. So I think he probably won't be back. And then I think Lindholm's gone. Like, he's just played terrible. Like, hasn't played terrible, but like he really has not given this team any sort of spark or any sort of push. And they gave up a first round pick for him. It's like not looking good. I think Lindholm's gone. He'll probably go to Boston. Probably him and Zadorov. And then is there anyone else I could see them like parting ways with? If they can find a taker, I could see Mikheyev getting shipped out just for cap reasons, but we'll see. I think those are ones that I consider, but they're going to lose some players, which sucks. Like, they might even have to trade some of their guys just to free up cap space. Remember the Charlotte Bobcats in the early 2000s had a 7-win NBA team, often thought those worst major sports seemed to exist. Yeah, it's up there. I hated that jersey too, the Bobcats, that like old orange and blue. Well, let me find that. Bobcats. Yeah, anyways, can't remember, but didn't like those jerseys either. We don't have to look those up. All right, guys, I'm going to take off a little earlier here today. Sorry, I know we're about 10 minutes earlier than usual, but I'll make up for it next week. I have an interview here in about 3 minutes that I got to get to. But guys, please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. I do the show every Wednesday. Spread the word. I'm trying to grow the show as much as I can. I'm trying to make this the most interactive hockey show out there where you guys can participate and answer questions. Hopefully, I got a lot of your questions answered. And if you're watching the replay of this, or you have any other questions that you couldn't think of or you wanted to ask later, comment on the video. I will reply to comments on this video just because we don't have a ton of viewers, so it's easier for me to come back and answer stuff after the fact. If not, catch me on my MMA streams. We'll talk a little hockey there as well. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. Really appreciate it. I'll see you next Wednesday. We have a lot to talk about next week, obviously, with more games coming as we get closer to the playoffs. Again, thank you so much for watching. My name is James Lynch, and I'll talk to you guys soon.